Okay, I'm recording this for Miss Smarty. I'm glad you asked about that. So Miss Smarty asked about my take on DeepSeek. You guys can't see it, but I have a computer right in front of me and I'm on ChatGPT. So we're just gonna ask ChatGPT. Tell me about DeepSeek. DeepSeek is a Chinese artificial intelligence company officially registered as Hangzhou DeepSeek. Artificial Intelligence Basic Technology Co., based in Hangzhou, Zhejiang, founded in 2023 by Liang Wenfeng. The company focused on developing open source large language models. Really? Okay. In November 2024, DeepSeek released its R1 model designed for complex problem solving. Despite utilizing less advanced hardware compared to American counterparts, the R1 model achieved global top 10 performance, impressing the tech community with its capabilities. DeepSeek models are open source, allowing businesses to use and modify them without fees. Okay. Though they require substantial computing power and expertise, this openness has been praised for promoting accessibility and innovation in AI development. The company's advancements have had significant market impacts, including a notable decline in NVIDIA stock due to concerns over the justification for heavy U.S. spending on AI infrastructure. DeepSeek's emergence challenges U.S. AI dominance and introduces significant complications for the global AI landscape, national security, and future AI development strategies. So let's ask, what are the main differences between ChatGPT or OpenAI and DeepSeek? Okay, so it says, here are the main differences between ChatGPT, OpenAI, and DeepSeek. Model and training approach. OpenAI or ChatGPT uses proprietary models. ChatGPT-4, ChatGPT-4 Turbo, trained on a vast data set with reinforcement learning and supervised fine-tuning. I gotta say, reinforcement learning that's my niche area. So meta learning is a branch off of reinforcement learning, just for the record. DeepSeek develops open source large language models, allowing users to modify and use them freely. DeepSeek R1, its latest model, is optimized for problem solving with a more lightweight approach compared to OpenAI's models. So DeepSeek is focused on language models. OpenAI is training on a bunch of different data and includes reinforcement learning. One thing to kind of understand, this is at a very high level about reinforcement learning. It was something that was hard for me to grasp when I first kind of started understanding it. So with reinforcement learning, think of like a video game. There's like some videos that I used, like OpenAI has this like blog. And if you watch the videos from the blog, they kind of make sense. So they basically have these agents, which are, think of them as like robots, but robots without any information. And you give them some instructions, do this, do this, do this. And then each time that the robot does the thing that you told it to do, it either fails, it succeeds, or it fails. And it uses that data, stores the data about the failure, about the success, like how did it fail? What happened? Did someone else come in and do something? Did it hit a rock? If you're thinking about a robot in the real world trying to open a door or something, right? Like it can try, but there's many things that might go wrong to make it so that the door doesn't open, which would be not a success. Even though it could do a bunch of other stuff that you didn't ask it to do on accident, which might be something to note, which you could, if you have data that isn't just language, like OpenAI does. They have probably like video data, like audio transcripts, actual words. They're training on a variety of data sets. And also, I think it's just important to note here, OpenAI specifically partnered with Microsoft in like this exclusivity deal where they're using their servers to train the models, and it's like it's in the billions. It's like a multi-billion-dollar deal where like OpenAI just has this massive compute from Microsoft. And I feel like I've said this in other videos, but people are always talking about like the big tech companies, and they'll say like Netflix, Google, Facebook, Apple, and they don't include Microsoft, which is wild because like Microsoft powers capitalism in America. Like, do you know who Microsoft's customers are? McDonald's, Starbucks, okay, like Dell, fucking like everybody. Like Intel's like a Microsoft customer. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's their customers. Like all the like Apple is probably like a Microsoft customer in some way. There's some product that they're like, no, we're gonna use this. Like, anyway. Open versus closed source. This is really important. OpenAI is primarily closed source while some early models were open, recent versions like ChatGPT or GPT-4 are not publicly available for modification. This basically means like if you're a programmer and you get on GitHub, back in the day, and they probably have some of their old models like GPT-3 or 2 or something that are still just open. But you could basically use those models and train on them and build something really cool. Like if you need like a base of a large amount of data because they were getting it free from Microsoft, right? So you can use that data. But now, since they've come so far, they've been able to train over and over again and make the model better and better. So now GPT-4 Turbo is like this super model. It has like the most up-to-date data. It is like a super badass model. So the point there is like they're not going to give that out for free. That's why you have to pay. Like you can use the product, the ChatGPT, and pay it's like $30 a month or something, but you still don't have access to the back end of the model. Because DeepSeek is open source, you have access to the actual model. Like you can download the model, train on the model, and use that in your like everything to make it make sense. Anyway, okay, so DeepSeek, it's fully open source, enabling developers and businesses to customize their models, making them more adaptable for specific applications. Then we've got hardware and infrastructure. OpenAI operates on cutting-edge NVIDIA GPUs, benefiting from substantial investment in AI computing infrastructure. DeepSeek uses less powerful hardware compared to OpenAI, but still achieves competitive results, demonstrating efficiency in training and model architecture. Business and accessibility. OpenAI offers commercial APIs, subscription-based access, ChatGPT Plus, enterprise solutions, and integration with Microsoft products. See? DeepSeek provides models for free usage and modification, but requires expertise and computing resources to deploy effectively. This is like good and bad. If you're like a Chinese developer working for, let's say, like Baidu, which owns TikTok, right? ByteDance, like you could technically take this model, even though ByteDance, this is also another conversation, and I'll kind of go back to that at the end of this. Market and global positioning. OpenAI is a US-based leader in AI development, partnered with Microsoft, and subject to US regulations. True. DeepSeek is a China-based competitor that challenges US AI dominance, raising geopolitical and technological implications. Yeah. Performance and features. OpenAI generally considered more refined and conversational AI, multimodal capabilities, and integration with various applications. DeepSeek, which is strong in problem solving and efficiency, but still catching up in conversational smoothness and broader adoption. Okay, key takeaway. If you want a highly polished and accessible AI with broad integration, OpenAI ChatGPT is a better choice. If you want a customizable open source AI that allows deeper control and modification, DeepSeek is worth exploring. Okay. Probably this audience that I built, like, this is a channel where I mostly focus on like social and cultural issues, like things that I write about. Like, I consider myself like a culture and society writer at this point. But in a previous lifetime, right, I went from a web developer to a back-end data engineer to like kind of an AI researcher, kind of. That was just something I was just interested in. And then because I just kept asking about it and writing about it and talking about it, I just kind of became a part of the community. Like, the other researchers knew who I was. And my area was like reinforcement learning. Not even though deep reinforcement learning is a whole topic, and I actually think I will go back and make a video about Clune, though I feel like I've talked about him. And there's the way that it works basically in AI research. It's kind of like, I don't know if actually this is useful, but let's just talk about AI in terms of applications, like what you as a consumer might be using. So hopefully you downloaded the ChatGPT app. It's free. You can pay money to get the ChatGPT Turbo, but you don't have to. But it will. It is trained on so much data. It's a very smart model. Like, you can ask it to plan. I've literally got it to plan a whole trip to Switzerland for me. I was like, I have these days off. I'm leaving at this time. Here's how much money I have to spend. Plan the trip for me. ChatGPT can do that. I was like, okay, I'm in this new city for 5 hours and I want to have dinner. Where should I go? They'll be like, these are my top 5 recommendations. You should do this. So you can use AI to at this point, like, solve real world problems for you in terms of things with like legal briefs or other things. If you got, I'm trying to build this for you guys. Like, I'm trying to make the things make sense, but I have a whole other channel that I'm starting, which is like how Olivia retired off of like a fee waiver and became a whole lawyer behind the scenes. Like, while I was really deep into AI, everyone else I knew is basically an attorney. So it kind of started like me having very general conversations with them about stuff. And then like real world, like American life kind of hit my plate. And I like had to start doing things for myself anyway. But ChatGPT is very good for that as well. So it can do all of these things for you, like so many things. And so let's go back. So why are people talking about DeepSeek and why should you care? I don't know. Like, unless you are an AI researcher, even if you are, I mean, you're not, unless you have like Sam or Elon money, it won't even really make a difference. The reason that other tech companies are talking about DeepSeek is the same reason that they were talking about TikTok. TikTok and DeepSeek are companies that are owned by like by China. Like, they have the same way we have like Google in America and like Microsoft. There are really awesome, huge tech companies in China. And I have been saying this for a really long time. This is why I talk about culture and society, but specifically Africa. I'm gonna like make this make sense for you guys very briefly. And I feel like I've already, if I did not include this link, somebody like get at me and just make sure I know. But unlike everywhere else in the world that is having a birth deficit, like the replacement rate is not hitting, that is not the case in Africa. Africa, like every kid, like I think it's like 1 or it might even be 2 now, like 2 of every 4 babies born, and I think this starts in like 2030 now, is going to be an African baby, a black baby. Like, we don't really have the same issues as everyone else, including China. But China sees this as a great investment opportunity. So China specifically has invested a bunch of money into Africa. Like, China and Africa right now are like this. There was a video that came out and I was telling a bunch of my other like devs about this, and like we are all African in some way, so we were like, we kind of care about this is kind of cool. But I don't know if everyone was taking it as seriously as me. Like, I went so far as to do like Mandarin immersion school. That's a whole other channel. but we could definitely go there in terms of like, even I know Mandarin. So like, I mean, if you don't see it, maybe it's not hitting your life right now, but whatever isn't Red Note now, you see all the people are on Red Note. China has a lot of people, like a lot, like billions and billions of people. Now their like replacement rate is kind of low and they're not having the babies, but they are partnering with Africa and many Chinese people are moving to Africa. Africa is the future. But what does that have to do with AI? Well, okay, so let's say that a bunch of new users, like all these babies who are being born, the new population of humans who are all over there, and they're all using DeepSeek, right? Because it's open source and free on their little phones that China has given them. And China now has all this data, right? It's because like what Instagram did was kind of cool. What Facebook did was kind of cool. Like it made these like social profiles for people from like birth all the way till forever. And you can like connect with them really quickly. And like all the Chinese companies saw that and just made them for China. But the thing about the dictatorship in China is like they don't have access to our apps. The way that China works is like they're like, okay, we'll just make a duplicate of it and then you have to use ours if you're in China. You can't use theirs. So like they have a whole like it's like an ecosystem of apps that starts with like WePay, and all the apps are connected. There's like a Facebook clone, the WePay thing. It's all connected though. And you have to like use it if you're in China. And there's a lot of people of the like working age of, you know, like and then there's also obviously kind of a lot of old people. So they have figured out a way to start capturing the data by replicating, in a sense, because like OpenAI they open sourced these models in the beginning. So everyone knows like the skeleton version of like how to get it working. So ChatGPT 2, which is like the old version, which is like still available, like DeepSeek probably used that to like get started. And anyone can do this anywhere, but it's just like China just has a very large educated population of like really smart researchers who are like studying AI or engineering or whatever. Like they're like really smart though. So they kind of have a real advantage there. The way that like America is kind of able to win is by like really smart immigrants doing PhD programs at really great schools in America and then contributing to research here. If the really smart people though go immigrate to China and join their programs, which honestly will probably start to happen pretty soon, now America loses its advantage. But also I think there's just more of like I don't know, it's more of like a 20-year projection where people are being concerned. Except if you're me and you're just like, you don't even live amongst what's happening now, like you're kind of already living 10 years in the future, then you would see that like, I went to, it was like I think it was like AI World, the conference, and I met, what is this guy's name? I always forget his name, but he's so cool to me. AI chair. No, that's not his name. This guy, he's like the Coursera founder. Andrew Ng, yes. So I went to, when I was trying to get started in AI, Andrew Ng basically teaches the machine learning course at Stanford. And it is like the course that if you're getting started, you take his course. And then he also teaches like a deep learning course. And all of these were open source on YouTube. They're Stanford courses, but they're open source on YouTube. So you can just take them and it will kind of like really give you the basics. But also at that table, I met this guy who does like, is it called like Fast AI? I think it's called Fast AI. Jeremy something. He was at the table too, and I was like, holy shit, like I didn't know who that guy was because I hadn't taken that class yet, but I had taken Andrew Ng's class, and I was like, this guy's like my hero. Like I'd watched all of his lectures at that point, and he had like Coursera, the whole thing. I was like, this dude is the greatest. He was like, I don't know, Malcolm X or something, but for like machine learning. I was like, I was about to pass out when I saw him. I was like, it was like seeing Beyonce or something. I don't know. I was like, wow, he's the greatest. Like he taught the course. Like he kind of wrote the thing, but also he's literally like the okay, wait, let's see. He's Andrew Ng. There's this really large company in China called Baidu. It says he's a British computer scientist, but he's not. He's like, was he born in the United Kingdom? Oh, he went to Raffles. I didn't even know that. They're saying he's a British computer scientist. I don't know. Like he left Baidu? Well, for a while, he was with Google Brain, and then he was with Baidu, which is this Chinese company. And he's like the machine learning dude, right? So when he was like, I think he was like a board director or something of Baidu, which was like, it was like the Chinese Google. And I was like, wow, like if they have him, I don't know how, but he was like doing Brain and Baidu at the same time. Either way, that dude has all the secrets. Like he's like really smart. So whatever it is that he helped Baidu do, like even if he was there for just a few years, definitely enough for them to get ahead, just ahead. Because the other thing with Google Brain, oh god, there's like, I need to make like an AI sort of like matrix, or maybe I'll just make like a list of people. If you guys are really interested in AI, you should just follow these people on Twitter, because they will like tell you all day like what's going on. Actually, there's some like Jan LeCun. When I was at Facebook, he is like the AI dude at Facebook. Jeffrey Hinton is very useful for everything. Fei Li does a lot. But there's a guy at Google Brain. Now I'll have to remember his name, but he is really great. But he's also really smart and in charge of quite a lot. And so there's probably a lot of like guardrails and things that Andrew Ng was unable to do because he's like having to, listen to other people. Like he's not the big wig. He's big, but he's not the big wig. But I do think he might be like smarter than everyone else. So I think when he went to Baidu, the red tape was lifted and they were like, you are the big dude here, tell us what to do. And then they probably all listened, and that's how China is like going into the future. Because like I said, when one company, especially in China, gets like the answer, like DeepSeek they have the infrastructure to collect massive amounts of data very quickly. With DeepSeek is the way that they're going to do that. I have DeepSeek downloaded on my phone and I use it. They are going to collect quite a lot of data very quickly, and they are very quickly going to be able to compete with ChatGPT. But also this might really cut into the bottom line of ChatGPT, because they won't have a monopoly anymore if open source developers are all contributing to the improvement of things like DeepSeek. And OpenAI just can't work fast enough. In that case, because like I said, Sam is a super capitalist. He might just buy them. Or I really don't know. I don't know if they're even willing to be bought though, because like China really does want to have its own thing over here in Africa already. Like, did you guys know this? But in NATO, I think Africa now has like 31 seats or something, just because like the population is like so big. So the continent has like half the seats in NATO or something. Everybody is from Africa. If you didn't know that, look that up, because I won't say this, but yeah, I got pretty close to some NATO stuff, and I was like, whoa, that's wild. I didn't know that. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so I'm looking at Andrew Ng's timeline. So in 1976, he was born in the United Kingdom. Yeah, why did it say he went to Raffles? Institution is an independent educational institution in Singapore. So yeah, so he was born in the United Kingdom. He graduated from Carnegie Mellon in 1997. He got a master's degree from MIT in 1998. And in 2002, he got a PhD from UC Berkeley. In 2007, he got a Sloan Fellowship. That's from MIT. And he is also a recipient of the Computers and Thought Award. Yeah, and then he's like a pioneer in AI, having created the Google Brain deep learning AI system while at Mountain View. At Google Brain, he became famous for showing how deep learning could recognize cats in a sea of images with uncanny speed and accuracy. Yeah, he's pretty big news. So I guess like the point here is like ownership. That's why everybody cares about DeepSeek. And I think so when I commented initially on Miss Smarty's comment, I put links to other videos that I've made that are related to this topic in some way. So if I've said some stuff that makes no sense, like look up these things, and also maybe I will make a list of terms for you to go put into ChatGPT and read for yourself. If like you are actually interested in this, because you don't need to code to just understand at a very high level kind of like what's happening and why it's important, because like in terms of making decisions for yourself and just being able to like utilize the technology right now, you could probably improve your life in quite a few ways just by like understanding what the technology is. Anyway, hope that helps.